I caught a girl cheating with a criminal, collected evidence, and turned him into the cops. She was always a little too careful with her phone, but I didn't clock it at first. Not because I was naive and I just didn't care enough to play detective. We'd been together almost 2 years and I wasn't exactly in fairy tale mode. I wasn't walking around thinking she was the one, or picturing future kids with her name. It was just life. Comfortable, repetitive, predictable. I worked, came home, we'd eat something bland, maybe screw, maybe not. She'd complain about her job, I'd scroll through my phone. Normal. Except it wasn't. There were signs, late night showers, locked phone screen even when she was just texting her cousin. A new perfume that showed up out of nowhere. Musky, cheap, not something she would have bought for herself. I should have said something, but I didn't. Not because I was scared, but because I wasn't in the mood for the show. The fake shock, the deflection, the crying. I figured if she wanted out, she'd leave. But she didn't. She stayed. Smiled like everything was fine. Said she loved me. Made breakfast some mornings, got lazy with it too. Started leaving little clues. Receipts in her purse with 2 drinks, dinner for 2 in neighborhoods we'd never go near. I'm not stupid. I just needed to be sure before I made it messy. It was my friend Dylan who dropped the first real hint. Said he saw her at a gas station way across town. Wrong place, wrong car. She was in the passenger seat of some beat-up Dodge Charger with a guy who didn't exactly scream old coworker. He didn't say anything else, just gave me that look guys give when they don't want to be involved, but also don't want to see you get clowned. That's when I started watching. I stopped letting her see when I was home, stopped telling her when I'd be late. Took a few half days from work without saying anything. Just to see. And yeah, she wasn't good at hiding it. The same car Dylan mentioned started showing up parked 2 streets down. She'd say she was going out with a friend, but she'd leave dressed like she was heading to a club, not dinner. He didn't come to the door. Never walked her out. But I caught them once through the gap in the curtains, her kissing him, fast and hungry like I hadn't seen from her in over a year. Still, I didn't blow up. I didn't confront. Not yet. I needed to know who he was, not just some guy. I wanted a name, a story, something I could use. So I followed him. It wasn't hard. He was cocky, wore the same jacket every day, moved like he was invincible. He'd drop her off 2 blocks down and then cruise toward the east side. Not a good part of town, not a place I'd normally go. He wasn't subtle either, shaking hands in alleyways, pulling envelopes out of his trunk, laughing with guys who looked like they'd been in and out of prison since high school. And I caught it all. Phone on silent, camera steady, every drop-off, every shady exchange. I didn't even know if she knew. If she was just sleeping with a guy who happened to be a low-level criminal, or if she was in on it. Helping, hiding things, covering for him. I didn't ask, I didn't warn her. I just kept watching. And collecting. That's when I realized I wasn't just pissed. I was calm. Cold, focused. Like something had clicked. I wasn't doing this for love or jealousy. I was doing it because I could. Because I wanted the upper hand. Because I'd spent too long playing it cool and now it was time to stop pretending. The moment it really solidified for me, the moment I knew I was going to burn it all down, was the night I saw her hand him something in a plastic grocery bag. It wasn't groceries. He checked it before tossing it into the back seat. Counted the contents, smiled. Kissed her on the cheek and drove off like it was just another night. And she came home to me right after. Laid in bed next to me. Slept like she hadn't just handed off whatever the hell that was to some twitchy-looking guy with track marks on his arms. That was the final confirmation I needed. It wasn't just cheating, she was involved. So I made a plan. I cleaned up my phone, organized the videos, made copies, hid them in places she'd never check. USB in a book spine, backup folder disguised as tax documents. I backed up everything, her texts, screenshots, license plates, the gas station timestamp. I wasn't sure what I'd do with it yet. Cops weren't always reliable, and I didn't know how deep this guy's connections went. But I wasn't going to sit on it forever. I started pulling away. Not too fast, not too obvious. I didn't want her to know something had shifted. I needed more. I needed the full picture. And if she sensed I was onto her, she might vanish. He might vanish. That wasn't the goal. I wanted them caught. I wanted him gone. And I wanted her to know exactly how it happened. And who did it. So I waited, and while I waited, I smiled. I kissed her when she leaned in. I asked about her day. I played dumb, because that's what she thought I was. But the thing is, once you take your emotions out of it, once you stop trying to fix something that's already broken, it's easier to start planning how to snap the whole thing in half. And I was almost ready. She had no idea I'd been tracking everything, that I had timestamps, faces, footage. She still kissed me goodbye like I was some idiot who didn't know what lip gloss covered up the stink of a different car. She didn't know I'd been following the guy, that I had him on video handing off a Ziploc full of pills outside a strip mall like it was casual. The break came faster than I expected. I didn't trigger it, she did. It was a Thursday night, same setup as always. She said she was going to her friend's place for a girls-only wine night, and I didn't even blink. Just nodded, said, "Have fun," and watched her drive off in the outfit she only wore when she wanted attention. But this time, I didn't just follow her. I beat her there. I knew where she was going now. Motel off Highway 9. Same one twice last week. Easy to watch from the lot behind the diner next door. I parked and waited, camera rolling. 10 minutes later, she showed up in his car, not hers. That's what tipped it. She didn't even bother with her own vehicle. She was in his passenger seat like she belonged there. Like they'd done this 100 times. Probably had. They didn't go inside right away. They sat in the car for a bit. Then she leaned over and pulled something out of the glove compartment. Small package like those wax-wrapped bundles you only see on drug shows. He unwrapped it, checked it, and nodded. That's when I knew. She wasn't just a side piece, she was part of it. I got it all on camera, clear angle, her face, his face, the exchange, everything. I could have walked away then, gone to the cops that night. But I didn't. Not yet. Because 5 minutes later, the universe decided to make things easier. While I was watching them head into the motel, headlights lit up the parking lot. SUV, tinted windows, didn't belong. The guy in the driver's seat didn't get out. He just sat there, waiting, watching. It didn't feel random. He wasn't lost. He was clocking them. 10 minutes passed, then 15. Then that same SUV pulled out, slow and silent. That's when I knew someone else was already watching. I wasn't the only one collecting dirt. I drove home, brain moving 100 miles an hour. I knew what I had. I knew what it could do. But now there was another player. Maybe cops, maybe dealers, maybe something worse. And she was tangled in it deep. The next day, she came home like nothing happened. Made eggs, laughed at something on her phone. I didn't eat. I didn't ask. I just watched her. That night, while she was in the shower, I unlocked her phone using her fingerprint while she slept. She'd gotten sloppy. Left it face up, didn't change her settings. I went through everything. DMS, deleted messages, hidden photo albums. There were screenshots of addresses, cash app transfers, GPS pins with weird symbols next to them. I didn't know all of it, but I knew enough. She wasn't just sleeping with a criminal, she was running drops. My girlfriend, the one who spent Sundays watching rom-coms and drinking herbal tea, was delivering product like it was Uber Eats. I sat there for an hour just reading, and then I found the photo. It wasn't of him. It was of her and a different guy. Some scrawny, neck-tatted dude I'd never seen. Same guy from the SUV, same face. Date stamped 2 weeks ago, and underneath it the caption, "Don't trust anyone." He's getting soft. That's when it snapped. She wasn't just part of this, she was playing both sides. I don't know how far in she was. I didn't care. All I knew was I was sleeping next to someone who could set me up, use me, rob me, or worse. All while acting like I was just the boring boyfriend she kept around for stability. So I did what needed to be done. I sent the footage to a burner email I made under a fake name. Then I called it in. No return address, no ID. Just a packet of videos, texts, license plates, timestamps. I made sure to include the motel drop, the handoff, everything. If they were watching already, this would give them more. If they weren't, they were about to be. And then I waited. 2 days passed. Quiet. On the third day, she was out when I got home. I didn't expect her to be back for a while. She'd said something about a spa trip with her cousin. But when she came back, she wasn't relaxed. She was panicked, eyes darting, voice shaky. She kept checking her phone, pacing, looking out the window. That night, she barely spoke, didn't eat, sat on the couch like she was waiting for something. Then came the knock, not the front door, the back. She jumped up, looked at me like I was the intruder, then bolted to the kitchen. She opened it, whispered something, and I saw him. Hoodie, jeans, face half hidden. The guy from the Charger. They argued, not loud, not violent, but tense. Fast. He handed her something, looked like a flash drive, then took off through the yard without looking back. She locked the door, turned around, and froze when she saw me watching from the hallway. She tried to fake a smile. I didn't move. I didn't ask anything. I didn't say anything. I just stared. She walked past me like I wasn't even there. Straight to the bedroom, closed the door, and that was the moment it all shifted. I wasn't afraid anymore. I wasn't curious. I wasn't hurt. I was done. By the next morning, she was already halfway out the door. Not physically, not with bags packed, but she wasn't really there anymore. She moved like someone expecting a disaster, like she was trying to stay ahead of it, checking her phone every few minutes, tapping at messages, deleting them seconds later. She barely looked at me, like if she didn't make eye contact, none of it would catch fire. But it already had. 2 days after I sent the footage, I started getting calls from unknown numbers. First one was short, silence, then a hang-up. The next lasted longer. Breathing on the line. No voice, just waiting. I didn't answer the third. Didn't need to. That night, a black car cruised slowly past my house twice. Not fast, not random, just slow enough to make sure I saw. She noticed it too. She pulled the blinds down tight, locked the doors twice. Slept with her phone clutched in her hand like it was a weapon. Didn't ask me if I saw anything. Didn't offer an explanation. Just sat in silence, head down, waiting for the blowback. I almost felt bad for a second, but then I remembered the Ziploc, the bag, the smile she gave him. So I waited, and then it happened. A week later, I got the alert, a news article pushed to my phone by accident. Headline didn't say much. Local arrest tied to ongoing drug trafficking investigation. But the photo said enough. It was him. Mugshot, black eye, the guy with the Charger. Caught outside a motel after a short chase. Found with enough in his trunk to put him away for a decade, maybe more. There was no mention of her. Yet. I didn't say a word when she walked in that night, but she already knew. She didn't cry. She didn't ask how I was. She didn't ask if I knew. She just stood there in the doorway with her purse half slipping off her shoulder. Shaking. Her phone lit up. She checked it. Froze. Then left the house without a word. Gone for 2 days. I didn't text, didn't call, didn't even ask where she went. I just watched the door, waiting for someone else to show up instead. And someone did, but not who I expected. Saturday morning, someone pounded on the door like they were about to kick it down. I opened it, half expecting a gun, half hoping for one. And instead, I got her cousin. Except it wasn't her cousin. It was the guy from the SUV. The one with the neck tattoos. The one from the photo in her phone. The one who'd been watching. He didn't say a word. Just stood there, chewing something, staring at me like I was already dead. Then he pulled a piece of paper from his jacket. No words, no threats, just a single photo stapled to the top. It was me. Sitting in my car, camera pointed, watching them outside the motel. He held it up, waited for me to look at it. Then he smiled, nodded, walked away. That's it. No threats, no yelling. Just a warning. We know. That night, I packed a go bag, just in case. I still didn't leave, though. I wanted to see how far she'd take it. If she'd lie, spin it, ask for help. But when she came back, she didn't do any of that. She just collapsed onto the couch, eyes hollow, no makeup, no mask. I think they're going to come after me, she said. First thing she'd said to me in days. Her voice didn't crack, her face didn't twitch. She said it like she was talking about the weather. I didn't respond, because I didn't care anymore. Because I wasn't her shield. That night, she handed me the flash drive. The one I'd seen her get from him. No explanation. Just held it out like a peace offering. I took it, but I didn't plug it in. Instead, I made a copy. Stored it on a fresh drive, tossed the original in a shoebox in the attic. Then I opened the copy on an old laptop with no Wi Fi. It was worse than I thought. Surveillance footage, handwritten notes, maps, drop points, audio recordings, some with her voice on them. And in one of the clips, I heard something that made my stomach tighten for the first time since this all started. A name. My name. One of the guys, maybe the Charger guy, hard to tell, said it clearly, laughing. He doesn't even know she's using him to cover the drop-offs. So that was it. I wasn't just the boyfriend, I was the alibi. My car, my house, my schedule, all part of it. If anything had gone sideways before the arrest, it would have been me in that mugshot. That's when it stopped being about revenge. Now it was survival. I got a lawyer, not to sue, not to go public, just to cover my ass. Had to explain the whole thing, the videos, the evidence, the drive. Showed him everything. He didn't blink. Just asked one question. Did you tell the cops? I told him no, not yet. He told me to wait. Let them come to me first. If they didn't, we'd decide what to do next. And then it happened. The knock, real this time. Police. 2 of them. Not loud, not aggressive. Polite, almost. Asked to come in. Said they had some questions. I didn't say yes, didn't say no. Just stood there until one of them held up a badge and a photo. It was her. Caught in one of the drop locations. Blurry, but clear enough. They weren't here for me, not yet, but they were circling. I told them I'd get a lawyer and talk after. They didn't push. Just nodded and handed me a card. She was in the shower when it happened. Didn't hear a thing. But the look on her face when I handed her the card? That was the moment she knew it was over, and that I'd never protect her again. She didn't run. I thought she would. Thought she'd bolt the second she saw that card in my hand. But she didn't. She just sat on the edge of the bed, towel still wrapped around her, dripping on the floor, staring at the cop's name like it was written in a different language. I didn't say anything. She didn't ask anything. That silence between us? That was the cleanest break we'd ever had. By morning, she started packing. No drama, no apologies. She didn't ask me why I didn't warn her. She already knew. That part was done. All that was left was what came next. But she was too late. Midway through throwing her clothes into a duffel bag, they showed up again. This time, not so polite. 3 officers, search warrant? One of them read it like he was trying not to smirk. She stood frozen in the hallway, clutching her phone like it could save her. They went through everything, drawers, closets, even the lining under the mattress. Found a burner phone she thought I didn't know about. Found a bundle of cash tucked in the lining of her winter coat. The look she gave me when they pulled that out wasn't betrayal, it was hatred, like I'd ruined her little secret world. They didn't arrest her on the spot. Told her not to leave town, gave her the standard warning. She tried to act calm, but her hands shook the entire time. I stood in the kitchen, arms crossed, watching them walk through my house like I was invisible. I was expecting one of them to cuff me, too. Maybe throw in some accusation about being an accomplice. But they didn't. They knew. Or maybe they just had more pressing targets. That night, her phone wouldn't stop ringing. Unknown numbers, one after the other. She didn't pick up. She stared at the screen like she was waiting for it to explode. Eventually, she threw it in the trash, literally. Just walked over and dropped it in like it had burned her hand. Then she looked at me for the first time in days. "You don't get it," she said. I didn't respond. Because I did. I got all of it. The next morning, she was gone. No note, no keys left behind. Just the duffel bag missing from the closet and the door left cracked open like an afterthought. And for about 36 hours, it felt done. Until her mother showed up at my doorstep. Screaming, red-faced, fists clenched, accusing me of ruining her daughter's life. Like I was the one driving around with Ziplocs full of pills. Like I was the one hiding burner phones and running with gang trash. She said I set her up, that I must have planted the evidence, that her daughter would never get involved in something like this unless I drove her to it. I let her finish the whole rant before I closed the door without a word. Didn't slam it, didn't yell back, just closed it, because there was nothing left to explain. A few days later, I got a visit from someone else. Not the police. A guy in a beat-up hoodie showed up while I was checking the mail. I didn't recognize him at first. too average. No tattoos, no swagger. Just a quiet guy with dead eyes and a voice that barely registered above a whisper. He said one sentence. She owed more than she delivered. Then he walked away. That's when I realized she wasn't hiding from the cops. She was hiding from them, and I was still in the blast radius. I moved the next week, fast, quiet. No posts, no goodbye drinks, no forwarding address. Left the place furnished. Took only what mattered. Laptop, drives, the few clothes that weren't tied to old memories. The day I left, a black car passed me on the street. Didn't stop, didn't slow down, but it followed for 3 blocks before peeling off. They were still watching. The news cycle caught up 2 weeks later. Her name popped up in a short article. Warrant issued. Person of interest in an ongoing trafficking case. No arrest yet. Still at large. I stared at her photo longer than I should have. She didn't even look guilty. Just bored. Like the whole thing had been inevitable. I thought that would be it. But Fallout doesn't follow logic. 3 months after I left, I got an email. No subject line, no sender name. Just a link. I clicked it from a burner laptop behind a VPN, like I was handling explosives. It was a video. Security cam footage. Grainy but clear enough. My old house? My driveway? Her. Standing there at 3 a.m., staring at the front door. She was gone before the clip ended. That was the last time I saw her. Not in person, not in news reports. Just a blurry figure in a camera feed from a life I no longer lived. The fallout didn't come with one big explosion. It came in ripples. Paranoia, half-finished thoughts. Random calls I still don't answer. Looks from people who maybe know, maybe don't. The occasional DM asking if I used to date her. I never respond, because it doesn't matter now, she's gone. But her shadow? Still here. Still moving. It's been over a year now. No arrest, no trial, no follow-up from the cops. Her name disappeared from the headlines fast, like it was never meant to stay there. Like someone made sure it didn't. The articles are buried now behind paywalls and broken links. But I still have them. Screenshotted, archived, saved on a drive labeled Tax Docs 2017. Just in case. I don't know where she is. Sometimes I think she's dead. Other times I think she's changed her name, dyed her hair, moved 2 states over, and found some new guy to hide behind. Either way, she's not mine to worry about anymore. I made sure of that. But that doesn't mean it's over. Because you don't walk away from something like that untouched. You carry it. Not loud, not dramatic. Just there. And how you don't trust people who smile too much. And how you check your rearview mirror twice when you leave work. And how you scan license plates in parking lots without realizing it. I still get calls sometimes. Always block numbers. Always silence. I stopped answering them after the 5th one. Changed my number, but they still come. New line, same old ghost. I learned to ignore it. I learned not to flinch when I hear knocks late at night. She made sure of that. After I moved, I kept to myself. Rented a small place in a different part of the state. Cash lease, no questions. The landlord was the kind of guy who didn't care what your name was if the money showed up on time. Perfect. I didn't hang anything on the walls. Didn't bring much with me, just kept the essentials. Lived like a guy who was ready to disappear if he needed to. Work changed, too. I didn't go back to the old job. Couldn't risk bumping into someone who might have heard the story secondhand. Some twisted version where I was the bad guy or the idiot. Found remote contract work. Quiet, solo. No coworkers, no small talk, no trust exercises. Just me and a screen and a paycheck. That's the real aftermath. You don't rebuild, you just reduce. Cut the noise. Strip everything down to what can't betray you. I got rid of the old laptop eventually. Burned the drive it came from. Not because I was scared of being found out, I already played my part. But because I didn't want the reminder. Watching her hand off drugs. Hearing my name come up like I was a pawn. Seeing her kiss him like she was proud of it. That's the kind of memory that doesn't fade. It just gets buried under the new routine. I never told my family. Never told friends. Let them believe we broke up like normal people. Didn't work out. Grew apart. Easy lies. No one pushed. No one asked why I vanished from social media or why I skipped the holidays that year. They chalked it up to stress or burnout or whatever excuse made them feel less uncomfortable. Good. Let them. They didn't need to know how close I came to being collateral damage. How close I came to losing everything because I trusted the wrong person to share a bed with. That's the part that sticks. Not the crime, not the lies, not the fallout. The trust. I let her in. Let her walk through my house like she owned it. Let her lie to my face and call it love. And I didn't catch it until she was already too deep to pull out clean. That's on me. I don't date now, not really. A couple conversations here and there, but nothing that lasts. Not because I'm bitter, but because I'm not interested in rebuilding something I know can fall apart with one kiss and a cheap motel key. People say you should forgive to move on. I say you just move on. Forgiveness is for people trying to fix something. I'm not fixing anything. I'm not the victim here. I'm the guy who got smart too late but still made it out before the walls collapsed. That's good enough. That's the win, if you want to call it that. But even a win like that costs something. I still double lock the door. I still run background checks on anyone who tries to get too close. I still flinch when I see a Dodge Charger on the highway. I didn't get revenge. I didn't get justice. I didn't get closure. What I got was distance and silence, and a life that's mine again, even if it's smaller now. And honestly, that's fine. I'll take cold and empty over warm and poisoned any day.